Friends. Coalition of Friends. Did I seduce you yet? Are you seduced? That's really all he has to say, and then he'll just like, I don't know, like unbutton his shirt a little bit, and then you're seduced. You're seduced now. I've seduced you. You're seduced. I don't know where that came from. Welcome back to the Coalition of Friends YouTube channel. My name is Garrett, and today I am so happy today exists. I am bringing you a review of No Time to Die, the final Daniel Craig Bond movie. It is the 25th Bond film in the franchise. I know it's 25 because I have all 24 as part of the James Bond Blu-ray collection. I got this at the beginning of this year. It has all of the films from 1962's Dr. No all the way to the 2015 Spectre. I will admit I have not seen all of the Bond films. I've seen the first 5 Sean Connery movies and now all of Daniel Craig's films. Over the last 2 weeks, however, I have rewatched Casino Royale. I think I've seen Skyfall and Spectre. I didn't remember anything about them, so for me this was fresh in my mind. And this was my first time seeing Quantum of Solace, which I really don't like. Its editing is really bad. So all of the character arcs and momentum in this series is in my brain going into this movie. I highly suggest it because this movie, No Time to Die, is almost perfect. I'm going to try to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible. I don't want to ruin this experience for you. You should really see this movie. I can't say enough how good it is. The film is directed by Akari Joji Fukunaga with cinematography by Linus Sandgren. I have to mention both of these names because the direction in this movie and the cinematography itself is gorgeous. This film is shot perfectly. There isn't a frame that's not where it should be. All of the shot placements are precise. What really stood out to me while I was watching this film is the use of dynamic colors. In certain scenes, it creates a different set of tone. If a shot is lit red by the lights around it, bad things will happen in that scene. What also stood out to me was the score, which was done by the phenomenal Hans Zimmer. And the score is just so perfect. You have your classic Bond themes in the film, but what Zimmer does is he blends his own style. If you listen to a lot of his scores, you can hear in this film stuff that he likes to reuse, but it doesn't take away from it. It's Hans Zimmer, you know? He's amazing. I did see this movie yesterday as of recording this, and I've listened to the album maybe 3 times through. I love it so much. I think my favorite track to listen to is titled Cuba Chase. It has those musical Bond themes we've come to know and love, but it also has a stylistic choice based on the location that the movie's taking place in, at this point being Cuba. So there's a lot of fun trumpet stuff happening. What this score does is add to the tension in action scenes. It's very percussive, so the pace is very fast, which makes the car chasing scene that the music is playing over that much more suspenseful because you have this driving force that's going forward at the same pace that the car is moving, since they have to go quickly because it's a car chase. I don't need to explain myself that much. If I really had the time and patience to do it, I could go through this entire IMDb list of all the actors. They are phenomenal. The ones I want to point out, of course, starting with Daniel Craig. Why would I not talk about him? This is his movie. This is his last Bond film. He gives it his all. There's a scene in the second act where he has to be emotional and admit he's wrong about something. And the way Daniel Craig plays it is that he is uncomfortable doing this. He often looks away from the person he's talking to because it's something he hasn't admitted before. He's not a very emotional person. He takes his emotion out through violence, which we saw in Quantum of Solace. And it's a perfect goodbye to Daniel Craig's Bond character. Rami Malek plays Lucifer Safin in this film. He is our villain. I like this villain. I wish he was in more of the movie. I like what his plan is and the reasons why he's doing it is very personal to him. Ana de Armas is the best part of this film. She's in for such a short while. She is hilarious, admittedly very sexy. I don't know. I really liked the dress she wore and how it like shaped her body and everything. She is great. I hope they give her more to do if they consider continuing with this timeline. I don't know if they'll just reset with another one, but there's so many beloved characters in this movie. I want to see those characters more. And if they go the route in continuing this timeline, please bring her back. Or if you ever want to give a Bond spin-off movie, have her be the lead. What a great character. My goodness, A+. Back on the subject of music, Billie Eilish's No Time to Die is gorgeous. It is thematically perfect. It is such a well-written song that carries through this opening couple scenes into it, and it makes me feel like I'm feeling what Bond is feeling at that moment. He feels heartbreak. He feels tragedy. And the title sequence is really dazzling to look at too, really well made. I like it. If I had any negatives in this movie, it would deal with Paloma and Safine not being in the film long enough. They're both great characters. I want more from them. And if you make the longest Bond film of all time, you could give me a little bit more of them. Of course, you do so much in this movie that I can't complain what's wrong with it. And there's this one Russian character who's funny to start out with and then gets really grating and annoying, and I wish he wasn't in the movie as much because it's a very cliche movie Russian accent, kind of like what David Harbour does in Black Widow. I don't know, I didn't really like that Russian character. So back to the good stuff. This movie is very funny. It is the funniest Daniel Craig Bond film. There are so many jokes. All of them are great. The action is so much fun to watch. It is thrilling. There's a point in the second act where a new character is introduced. And the amount of tension that this character brings throughout the rest of the movie with them being in these scenes, it was really hard to take sometimes because I'm like, I don't want this character to go away. I really like what they're doing with this character. I'm not being specific because spoilers. This is one of the most tense and thrilling third acts of a movie I've seen in a good long while. It is so enticing. The stakes are demonstrably high. And you worry for these characters. What the fuck is gonna happen to them? What the fuck is gonna happen to the world? It's just... oh man, start to finish, this movie is so great. This isn't just a fun action movie, it's a good movie in general. There's character development. Bond and Safine will talk for a couple minutes, and it's a talk about the moral and ethical choice of what Safine is doing and how he's kind of being a little hypocritical in his choice of violence. And it's something we haven't had in the other Daniel Craig Bond films, where we mostly just get a villain monologue and not a conversation between him and the villain about what they believe in or why they're doing what they're doing or how they relate to each other. It's really interesting and fun to see. It's just that one scene between them that we get, and I want a lot more where they talk with each other, where Bond knows Safine is the big bad, and I don't know, maybe they talk sooner in the movie. Almost any negative I have about this film is very nitpicky. Nothing ruins this movie for me. Nothing makes it bad. It's all really great. People, this movie is just amazing. Go see this in the theater. The action, the character work, the score, the directing, the cinematography. It is all phenomenal. I love what they do in this movie. No Time to Die is getting a 9 out of 10. This film is probably one of the best experiences I've had in the movies in a good long while. I don't think a film has meant to me seeing it so much. Of course, I have had the experience of watching the Daniel Craig Bond movies in the last couple of weeks, so I do have all of those emotions running through me about how I feel about these characters. And then seeing this movie was just so satisfying, and the fact that it's so good and so well made, it was truly special, and I hope it's the same for everyone that goes to see this movie. So yeah, that's my review of No Time to Die. I'm sorry for being so vague. I don't want to ruin this experience for you whatsoever. Maybe I'll make a spoiler review when the Blu-ray comes out, because I'll be able to watch it again in depth and can really just like pause it if I want to look at a frame or something. But in the meantime, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye! This is gonna get me a lot of hate in the sense of a satisfying conclusion in a well-made artistic film. This is better than Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame is amazing in its own right. Like, it's a near perfect movie in its own sense. But this is better shot. You have stuff that's realistically in frame that they're doing, not a bunch of green screen work. So I have to give this movie the props above that. I don't know, hate me for it. I don't know. This was just better than Endgame.